Hello, what's up? Sorry it's been taking me so long, but I've been busy with IRL stuff. Anyways, I was actually going to skip over the third overall pick, Drake Maye, for videos and go to someone that is playing in a lot of games like Bo Nix. But it is clam bake season, and I just had some clam chowder, so I thought, why not? Plus, apparently Drake Maye is going to be starting in week 6. So let's see how his career goes. We might have to sub him in automatically, actually. All right, so here we are. Oh, Lamar got MVP. New England finished 5-12. To be honest, that is as expected. Anyways, here's our boy. 2,468 yards, 16 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Why does it say Brissett played 17? This makes no sense. And he only had 536 yards. Yeah, he didn't play all 17 games, bro. It's okay. He's on a terrible team with no receivers. When I say no receivers, I mean 0. Demario Douglas is their best. And then their tight end. These guys all suck. All right, going into the second season, he is the starting QB. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, baby. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's the end of season 2, and we did not do better at all. We went 3-14. However, our boy has gone up 3,697 yards this season. Better rating with an 84.9. He had 22 touchdowns. He threw more picks, completed 63% of his passes, and he averaged 217.5 yards per game. Yo, does this guy run? Oh, he does. Last year, he had 75 carries for 328 and 2 tutties. This year, he had 101 attempts, 435 yards, 3 touchdowns. All right, it's season 3, bro. He is the starting QB again. His overall's gone up, but did we get him some weapons? Deontay Richards. Oh, he was a rookie last year. This man looks like he eats wide receivers. We went 6-11. Yeah! All right, they got better. They got better. All right, homie barely got better. 91.9 rating, 3,676 yards, which is not more than the year before, by the way. 29 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, 64% completions, and 216.2 yards per game. All right, so completions went up. Touchdowns went up, interceptions went down, rating went up. 102 carries, 430 yards, 1 touchdown. Drake Maye, 87 overall. He's starting. Can we get some weapons? Oh, we still got hungry receiver. Yeah, he ain't gobbling up receptions, though. All right, this guy looks like a piece of broccoli. He sucks, though. By the way, I just need to vent. I had Pacheco in fantasy this year, and he got injured, so I needed to do something at RB, and I made a trade. I traded Jackson Smith and Jigba for Ramondre Stevenson. And you know what he does? The first week I get him, he drops 0.3. The next week, he drops 8.2. I've gotten 8.5 points out of him at that point. So then I bench him. And you know what he does? He scores like 30 points. So then I put him back in, and he fumbles twice in the game. And he lets me down. Then he gets replaced in real life, and he's not going to be the starter. And you know what he does? He scores like 20 points again. And he was on my bench again. Like, bro, be for real, Ramondre. 8-9, our best record yet. 3,914 yards, 91.7 rate. Bro, he couldn't beat his best rating. He was 0.2 away from tying it. 28 touchdowns, 17 interceptions, 230.2 yards per game. Yo! Offensive player of the week, week 9. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go see that. Where's it at? Versus the Falcons. They won 34-28, 138.4 rating. Yo, 353 yards, 3 touchdowns, 89 carries. 369 yards, 4 touchdowns. Drake Maye's getting backed up by Gary Snell, dude. This might be an undercover SpongeBob character. Gary the Snail. He's coming for that starting job. Look at that, QB of the future. There is absolutely no way Ramondre Stevenson is 4th on the depth chart right now. Hey, just so you know, this is his final year of his contract. So, all right. So in week 3, Drake Maye re-signed a 5-year, $211 million contract. Gary Snell's gonna have to just sit and wait. Also, the Patriots went 6-11. Well, there's your $211 million man. 3,421 yards, 22 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Dude, he also had 100 carries for 364 yards and 2 touchdowns. Any awards? No. What college is Beth Cookman? I've watched a lot of football in my life and college basketball to add on, and I have never in my life heard of Beth Cookman. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Look how much cap we got. Oh, let's go in bit. Well, he posted his best rating, 102.1. And he threw for the most, nope, second most yards in his career. 3,787 yards, 26 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. That's what I'm talking about, baby. 69% completions and 222.8 yards per game. 91 carries for 411 yards, 2 touchdowns. All right, he had to be played. Never mind. Yo, wait, hold on. We went 11-6, baby. We made the playoffs. All right, well, he only played 16 games, so he missed 1 game, but let's see how he did. 3,322 yards, 17 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Still no awards. All right, first off, this man played in 1 game and had 264 yards, 30 for 43, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. This man is going to take Drake Maye's job. All right, let's look at this playoff bracket here. We are the 5th seed facing the 4th seed Jaguars. Hey, yo, they won by 3, 24-21. Drake Maye didn't play. Is he injured? Oh, he has a ruptured disc. He's out for 1 more week. Wait, this guy had 218 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. He was only sacked 1 time. What is this O-line, bro? Oh, my goodness. They won by 3 again against the 2nd-seeded Jets, 28-25. Hey, it's the return of the burger name. All right, Gary Snell started again. 116.7 rating, 243 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 Yo, Drake Maye, it's over for you in New England, dude. Get your chowder to go because you ain't staying here. Oh my goodness. They had the exact same score as their previous game, 28-25. They are your AFC champions. They're going to the Super Bowl. Bro, all right, who started this game? Drake Maye started. Yo, what is this stat line? 245 yards, no touchdowns, no picks, only 1 sack. Yo, they have the O-line of pure boshery. This is a QB battle right here because this guy won their first 2 playoff games for them and went crazy in those 2 games. He went crazy in the final game of the season. And then Drake Maye comes back in, no touchdowns, no interceptions, but throws a clean game manager type performance, I guess, to get him to the Super Bowl. Yo, who's on the Giants, bro? I don't know who Teddy Howard is. He might be staying with Tommy Cutlets because it looks like he's eating a little too many meatballs. Dude, look at his stat line. 435 yards, 4 touchdowns. They're winning this game. Congratulations, New York. You got another Super Bowl. Yo, they won the Super Bowl. Not only did they win, they blew them out. Not only did they blow them out and win, they shut them out. 31-0. Drake Maye started 124 rating, 198 yards, 2 touchdowns. Bro, what? Let's go. This is the first Super Bowl victory for a simulation we had this year and last year, but we only did 2 last year, so doesn't matter. He also had 7 carries for 33 yards. 2030 season recap. 31-0. New England Patriots win the Super Bowl over the New York Giants. The Super Bowl MVP was Drake Maye. We went 12-5. That's 1 game better than the year before. They're the 3 seed. Oh, yeah. And they're facing the nasty natty. All right, first things first. Drake Maye, 104.9 rating, 3,780 yards, 25 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and he averaged 222.4 yards per game. 95 carries for 406 yards, 0 touchdowns, baby. Player of the week, week 16, against the Jets, divisional opponent, 33-27, a win. 135.3 rating, 304 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. That's what I like to see, baby. Hey, yo, they won. Yo, this is a disgusting scoreline. Only 1 touchdown in this game. 10-9. 79.6, 148 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. 6 carries, 33 yards. The only touchdown was from Jalen Wright, who only had 37 yards on 12 carries, bro. Whatever, they won. Now they got to face the 2-seed Ravens, who they beat in the AFC title game the year before, baby. Okay, well, they lost 6-3. This is the most boring looking playoff run here. Dude, they scored 1 touchdown in 2 playoff games. 146 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. They only ran the ball 18 times, and 3 of them probably weren't even designed runs. All right, Gary Snell's gone, by the way, at the start of the next season. We got Spencer Rivers, the rookie. All right, so we made the playoffs again. 11-6, but we're the 7th seed. 26-21, they beat the Titans to play the Broncos in the next round. All right, let's take a look here. He had to go crazy. 246 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. 139.5 rating. 6 attempts, 30 yards. Oh, it's the Beth Cookman College guy. 3 catches, 86 yards, and a touchdown. Whoa. My bad. Totally forgot to look at his regular season stats, but it was 111.6 rating, 3,964 yards. 27 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. I like that stat line. 233.2 yards per game. Rushing, 97 carries, 419 yards, 2 touchdowns. Awards. Okay, bro. And they lost to the number 1 seeded Broncos, who have to face the Ravens again. Anyways, 34-18. 106.3 rating, 256 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. I don't think he's thrown a single interception in his playoff career. 5 carries for 20 yards. Oh, they just couldn't score any touchdowns, man. And we are in the final year of our $211 million contract. Hey, yo, we went 9-8 and did not make the playoffs. Drake Maye did resign, though. 2 years, $85.9 million contract. So 100.9 rating, 3,770 yards, 28 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 221.8 yards per game. You know, we always want a quarterback to throw for 5,000 yards in a season, which is good, right? This man has never thrown for 4,000, and he's never thrown 30 TDs. And of course, he still has 0 awards. Oh, you probably want to see his rushing. 68 carries, 270 yards, 2 touchdowns. Also, Jalen Wright is their leading running back, and he only had 678 yards and 4 touchdowns. So there's some booty cheeks of an offense this year. All right, so they made the playoffs. They went 9-8 and grabbed that last 7th spot in the playoffs. And they're getting carried by their defense, it seems, because they're 9th in the league in points allowed per game and 1st in the league for opponent passing yards per game. Anyways, they face the number 2 seed Pittsburgh Steelers. Also, good news, he threw for over 4,000 yards, 4,144 to be exact, 29 touchdowns and 7 interceptions, and he averaged 243.8 yards per game. So he had the most yards in his career, tied for most touchdowns in his career, 2nd least amount of interceptions he's thrown in a year. Pretty sure that's his highest completion percentage of 75%, and I'm pretty sure that's his highest yards per game. 86 carries for 340 yards, 3 touchdowns. Offensive Player of the Week, Week 3. Versus the Chargers, 27-6 W. 146.1 rating, 308 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. I don't think he's thrown more than 3 touchdowns in a game. Oh, 350 yards versus the Steelers in a W with 2 touchdowns, no picks. That's looking good for this playoff matchup. Well, they beat him in the regular season, but they couldn't beat him in the playoffs. 34-16 loss. Oh, man, we jinxed him. We said he never threw a pick in the playoffs, so he made up for it and threw 2 interceptions in this game. 1 touchdown, 233 yards, and a 58.3 rating. Oof, that is terrible. He also ran the ball 4 times for 18 yards. Who's this guy? He's not even their starter. Their starter must be injured. Why didn't they start this? Well, now I know why they didn't start this guy. Hey, yo, we finished 1st in our division with a record of 9-8. That's kind of terrible, but whatever. We'll take it. No one else from our division made the playoffs. We're the 3 seed, and we're facing the Los Angeles Chargers, the 6 seed. Let's get it. 112.9 rating, 3,656 yards, 29 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 72% completions, and 215.1 yards per game. He tied again with his most touchdowns in a season. He can't hit the 30 mark, man, but he did throw the least amount of interceptions in his career. And he had 86 carries for 354 yards and 5 touchdowns. And no awards again. Woohoo! All right, so they beat the Chargers 31-28 to move on versus the 5 seed Texans. 132.6 rating, 251 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. And he also carried the ball 4 times for 24 yards. Well, they lost by 3 to the Texans. 103.5 rating, 222 yards, 1 touchdown. Their defense must have lost this game. 5 carries, 21 yards. All right, update. He did not re-sign with the Patriots, so we got to find him. He signed with the 49ers. For 1 year, $21.5 million. And they definitely brought this guy in to be the mentor because that's his tags. And they got this QB of the future day 1 starter, Dylan Reed, who's been in the league for 1 year now, and he's ready to go. Yo, over in the NFC North, the 49ers went 10-6 with 1 tie. and they are going to the playoffs. Also, Daniel Brack is instantly an upgrade in New England. He has already thrown for over 4,000 yards, and he had 36 touchdowns. Meanwhile, over in San Fran, Drake Maye had 106.3 rating, 3,664 yards, 27 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and he averaged 215.5 yards per game, and he completed 69% of his passes. He also ran the ball 90 times for 346 yards and 3 touchdowns. NFC Offensive Player of the Week twice, Week 11 and Week 16. In Week 11, he faced the Jets, his old nemesis, and he won 34-31, 142.2 rating, 329 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He owns the Jets, man, even when he doesn't play in that division. And Week 16, when he was Player of the Week, he faced the Seahawks, and he won 35-3 in a blowout, 153.5 rating, 318 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Hey, yo, they won. They beat the 4-seed Saints 28-20, and now they got to face the number 1 seed Vikings, who their tie is against, by the way. All right, well, he did not play, so cool. He wasn't on the injury report. Anyways, Dylan Reed, 112.7, 316 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Woo, Drake Maye. They lost 23-20 to the Vikings. And Drake Maye didn't play again. Dylan Reed had 1 touchdown with 261 yards and a 119.2. They must have lost this in like the last second or a game-winning field goal or something, bro. Dude, their quarterback was their leading rusher? Drake, retire, bro. By the way, he's 34, and he didn't re-sign. All right, we found him. He signed another 1-year deal, this time with the Green Bay Packers for $14 million. All right, it looks like he's going to be the starter. He's the mentor and the bridge QB to Jay Brown, the other bridge QB in Trade Target Young. So I guess they really want to play George Gonzalez. Hey, yo, the Packers made the playoffs. They went 10-7. Dude, he's lucking in again. Look at that. 98.1 rating, 3,797 yards, 24 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. He completed a lot of his passes. That's about it. 86 attempts for 331 yards and 3 touchdowns. Awards? None. All right, let's see here. They're the 6th seed, and they got to face the Buccaneers, who are the 3 seed. Look at this. San Francisco's the number 1 seed without him. 30-27. They got to face the 4-seed Vikings. He's got to face the Vikings again the next year, the playoffs again. All right, he had 132 rating, 256 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, 3 carries for 16 yards. He's trying to win that 2nd Super Bowl. And look at that. He lost by 20, 41-21. By the way, he lost to the Vikings for the 2nd straight year in the playoffs. San Francisco made it to the championship game without him, and the Patriots are in the AFC championship game without him. 96.6 rating, 171 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Oof. All right, so we found him once again in the preseason this time. He went all the way through free agency without any contract offers or signings, but he eventually did sign with the Cincinnati Bengals for 1 year for $1.46 million, where he is also not the starter. He's the backup to Mike Davenport, who's also a bridge QB and in his 8th season. Oh, this is the guy. Malcolm McIntyre, QB of the future starter. Oh, yeah. And the Bengals went 6-11 and didn't make the playoffs. Womp, womp, womp. Also, the Bengals signed another quarterback, or they got him in a trade. I don't know. I'm not going back and looking, but they got Tucker Katz, who's in his 14th year, and he's a franchise QB or a trade target veteran. Anyways, he looks like he started most of the games or had the most success, but they played 3 QBs. Davenport played a lot of games as well, but Drake Maye played, looks like 1 game. He went 15 for 28 with 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, and 188 yards. So not looking good for him. Oh, and there it is. Quarterback Drake Maye retires after 15 years. All right, so in the legacy leaderboard, he's 26th for QBs with 8,683 legacy score. He won a Super Bowl with the Patriots, obviously. He got 0 yearly awards, Super Bowl MVP. So he was 1 for 1 in Super Bowls, 1-0 in the Super Bowl. Probably had a lot of passing yards, though. We'll see once I tally it all up and I spit it out here in a few seconds. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at his stats here. For passing, he ended up finishing his career with 51,248 yards in the air. That's good for 12th on the all-time list as of right now. Nothing to shake a stick at. 350 touchdowns in his career also would make him the 12th person on the list right now. Still not really, it's still not a lot. There's a big difference between the top 10 and then the next, 11 through 20. 142 interceptions puts him at number 69 on the list, right after Troy Aikman. The lower you are on that list, the better, because that means you have less interceptions. I mean, Peyton's up there with like 300 something. 4,682 completions, 6,804 attempts. He had a career completion percentage of 69%, which was decent. He averaged 7.5 yards per attempt. He averaged 219 yards per game, which would put him like 49th. Terrible. And he played 234 regular season games. When it comes to his rushing, I didn't even bother looking up where he'd be on the leaderboards all time for quarterback rushing because his numbers weren't that surprising. I mean, 1,249 attempts, 5,129 yards. He averaged 4.1 per carry, and he had 34 touchdowns. That's a decent amount of touchdowns for someone who doesn't run as much as or as well as he did. Okay, so he made the playoffs 7 times in his career, and he made it 3 years in a row and then didn't make it the 4th year, but then he came back and made it 4 straight years and with 3 different teams too. Remember, he made it with San Francisco and Green Bay, even though he didn't play with San Francisco, but he still made the playoffs, and he was actually a decent quarterback in the playoffs because he was really decent or, pretty much good in the playoffs. His rushing numbers, his passing numbers, and just the overall way his career ended, it's giving me Joe Flacco vibes. Now, he has more yards than Joe Flacco career-wise. He has more touchdowns, but he pretty much played the same length, and he also only had 1 season where he threw for over 4,000 yards, which is exactly the same career Joe Flacco has had. But anyways, he made the playoffs. He did win the Super Bowl in the year 2030, which was his 7th season. And he was able to win the Super Bowl and get Super Bowl MVP. Overall in the playoffs, he had a 104.03 QB rating, 2,372 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. And he threw 219 completions off 316 attempts. 69% completion percentage, 7.5 yards per average, and he played 11 games in the playoffs and averaged 215.6 yards per game. All right, that's it for this one. Let me know what you think. I think we're going to do a non-quarterback for the next one, and it's probably going to be the 4th overall pick, Marvin Harrison Jr. So Maserati Marv is most likely going to be our next one. That's it. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. See you on the next one.
Oh, hello there. It's Blue. I'm a terrible dancer, so ignore that version of me on the screen and listen to my voice when I say thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and of course, click on another video of mine. I heard you'll like those over there. They're pretty good.